Once we got back, she went to sleep and didn't wake up. Her headaches seemed to have calmed down, but sometimes she would still moan. I'd contacted Mayuri and the others, and they were probably going to arrive soon, but the words she'd said before. What was that? Were those fragments of her lost memories? If that was the case, then she really was.
Kagari!
Just as I went to look at the clock, the door opened and Mayuri and Lukako came running in.
Kagari-san, 大丈夫なんですか?
ああ、今はよく眠っている。
She must have heard us talking, because Kagari's eyes slowly opened.
Kagari-san. あれ? ここ、どこ?
She looked around, afraid.
落ち着いて。ここはラボですよ。ラボ? 日本? そうだよ。日本の秋葉原だよ。日本、私、日本に。あ、そっか。私、交換留学で。そういえば、公演の準備は。留学？様子が変です。ねえ、おかり。
Oh, wait! Did she wake up with Kurisu's mindset rather than her own? Oh, wait, is this the Kurisu speaking or the Kagari speaking? I think this is the Kurisu. Exchange program? Lecture? Those were Kurisu's memories.
あれ? 論文はパパに見てもらおうと思って頑張って書いたんだけど。
落ち着け、カガリ。それは君の記憶じゃない。
Kagari looked up at me in a daze.
オカリンさん。
そう。お前は椎名カガリだ。牧瀬クリスじゃない。
カガリ。私は椎名カガリ。
Are the memories converging? Oh!
ルカ子、悪いが、カガリのことを頼む。
Well, that's a cut!
はい。
Kagari was confused for a while after that, but she gradually started to calm down again. Once it seemed safe to do so, I'd taken her back to Yanabashi Shrine. But maybe we weren't going to be able to look after Kagari ourselves, after all. Maybe we should take her to a hospital? Was it my ego that was stopping me from doing so? I kept thinking about that as I walked along.
今日はマユシーも一緒に泊まることにするね。
ああ、そうしてもらえると助かる。
It would make Kagari feel a lot better.
なるべく普段と同じように接してやってくれ。
わかった。
I told her to contact me right away if anything came up, then headed back to the lab.
カガリ、 ひどいの？
That was the first thing Suzuha said to me when I walked through the door. She and Maho were sitting on the sofa. I told them about the situation already via Rhine. But they were still worried anyway, probably.
今は落ち着いてるが、一時はかなり混乱していた。
やっぱり、クリスの記憶？
ああ。ここまで来ると、もう間違いないだろう。
I still didn't know why, but inside Kagari's mind were Kurisu Makuse's memories. The question was how to deal with this problem. There were limits to what we could do on our own. The most we could hope to do was figure out how this had happened. That wouldn't be a real solution. To really fix this, we needed to get her back to normal, to erase Kurisu's memories and restore the original Kagari. And for that, we needed the help of a specialist. Maho Yajo was a specialist in that sense. There was nobody else who knew as much about memories and the workings of the brain. But there was a problem. We still hadn't told her that Kagari was from the future. In this world line, Maho didn't know Suzuha and the others that well. Of course, she didn't know about the future or the time machine. Was it okay to tell her?
ねえ、あなたたちはかがりさんとはどうやって知り合ったの？漆原さんのところに来る前は、彼女はどこで何をしていたのかしら？かがりは千葉の県境で倒れていたところを助けられたんだ。意識を取り戻した時点で、それ以前の記憶はなかった。
That was the same as the last world line.
でも、子供の頃の記憶はあるんでしょ？鈴葉さんは彼女と知り合いだったのよね。子供の頃の彼女はどこで何をしていたの？
Before we answer any of Maho's questions, let's see who texted us on Rhine. Aren't you with Kagari? Aren't you with Kagari? Is Kagari okay? She's fine, don't worry. I'll do something. We're all doing our best. Are you asking just in general? Because, okay, I think she's just asking in general as Okabe's talking to people, about this. I don't know how to respond to that. How do I respond to this? We're all doing our best? That's right! Daru and Maho are helping, and so are you. And we've got your help too. So it'll be fine. Yep, Miyushi will do her best! Yes. Keep it up. Thanks, Ocarine. Thanks, Strange. Suzuha looked at me silently. She felt responsible for what Kagari was going through right now, probably. I could see on her face that she wanted to bring back the old Kagari, somehow.
おじさん、どうする？ヒヤジョウさんに話しても。
Maho was a scientist. If we told her the truth, she'd be sure to take an interest in time travel. She might start working on the time machine. This was a big risk, but...
かがりを救う方法を突き止めるためには、やむを得ないか。
I thought for a moment, then nodded. My priority right now was helping Kagari. Suzuha nodded back, and then turned to face Maho.
今から話すことを知っているのは、ごく一部の人間しかいない。だから、ヒヤジョウさんも、決して他の誰かに漏らしたりはしないで。なんなの、急に。
Maho seemed overwhelmed by the sudden chill emanating from Suzuha. But Suzuha kept talking.
冗談に聞こえるかもしれないけど、冗談なんかじゃないんだ。約束できるか否か、答えは2つに1つだ。
Maho looked at me, hesitant. But she must have seen something in my face.
わかったわ。誰にも言わない。約束する。
She nodded.
それじゃあ、まずはさっきの質問の答え。子供の頃、私とかがりがどこで何をしていたか。私たちは、第三次世界大戦が終わった後の、未だ各地で内戦が続く戦時下に暮らしていた。2036年のね。
Just, you went right to the point! Maho's mouth hung open for a second, but soon her cheeks flushed with anger.
からかわないで。人が真剣に聞いてるのに。
Suzuha remained silent. Her eyes were ice cold, and staring straight into Maho's.
ヒヤジョウさん、鈴葉が最初に忠告したはずだ。これは作り話でも冗談でもない。鈴葉とかがりは25年後の未来からやってきた存在なんだ。タイムマシンでな。
タイムマシン？そんなものが作れるわけが。
その理論の大元を作ったのがマキセ・クリスだと言ってもか。
The second I said Kurisu's name, the anger vanished from her face.
そんなの。わかった。聞くだけは聞くわ。
Suzuha and I told her almost everything. How I met Kurisu, about the D-mails, what happened in the Alpha World Line, the development of the time machine, Bayuri's death, attractor field theory, what happened in 2036, what was going on with Kagari. The one thing I didn't tell her was the truth about Kurisu's death. That's probably a good thing you didn't say that part.
とりあえず話を整理させて。つまり鈴葉さんとかがりさんは岡部さんに未来を変えてもらうために2036年からやってきたと、そういうのね。そうだよ。
Maho sank into the sofa and sighed.
岡部さんにそんな大層なことができるとは思えないわ。
Thanks for the encouragement.
たった一人の人間に全人類の命運がかかっているなんて。
俺だって無理だと思っている。
I'd given up, actually, on the entire future.
到底信じられない話ではあるけど、でもあなたの言ったその理論なら確かにタイムリープは可能かもしれない。それに何よりその理論の元を作ったのはクリスなんでしょ。だったら検証に値するわ。だってあの子は天才だもの。
Her words together seemed like a mixture of admiration, jealousy, and envy.
信じるんだな。
その代わり今度見せてほしいわね。そのタイムマシンを。乗ってきたって言うならあるんでしょ、どこかに。ある。すぐ近くにね。検証作業は必要だけど、とりあえずあなたたちの話を信じることにする。だからあなたたちも私に信じさせるよう協力して。わかった。
There was no hesitation in her voice.
ありがとう。
If Suzuha said it was okay, it wasn't my place to speak. If Maho was going to help, that was all that mattered.
話をかがりの件に戻そう。さっきも言ったようにはぐれたのは彼女が10歳の頃。そしてそれ以降先月になって見つかるまでの足取りは全くつかめていない。俺はその間彼女が海外にいたんじゃないかと考えている。
For how long? I had no way of knowing. It may have been the whole time, or perhaps only a week.
オカリンおじさんの仮説だとビクトル・コンドリア大学にいたことになるね。
ああ。そして何らかの形でアマデウスと接触した。
The look on Maho's face was one between acceptance and resignation. She sighed loudly. A copy of Kurisu's memory data had been saved for use by Amadeus. This data was the only possible source for the memories within Kagari's head. Her words today had only strengthened my theory. Exchange program, lecture. These fragments of memories were all from before she'd come to Japan. The memory data had been saved just before she'd come to America. That was another match.
この前レスキネン教授に確認してみたんだけど、クリスの記憶データは凍結されたまま誰もアクセスできないはずだと言っていたわ。ただそれが事実かどうかを確かめる権限は今の私にはない。それにプロジェクトが凍結される前に何者かがデータを持ち出したことだって考えられるし。
持ち出すことのできる人間はアマデウスの研究に携わっていた人間に限定されるんじゃないか。
そうとは限らない。外部からサーバーに侵入すれば誰にだってできることよ。
Anyone was an exaggeration. Your average person wouldn't have a clue. You had to be a super hacker.
問題は目的ね。岡部さんの仮説が正しいとしてなぜそんなことをする必要があったのか。
The most obvious possibility was that someone wanted to let me repeat that. The most obvious possibility was that someone wanted access to Kurisu Makusei's mind. But Amadeus should suffice for that. There was no need to move her memories into another person's brain. And why would they want her mind that badly, anyway? She was a genius, sure, but she'd only published a single paper. There was no reason to think that it would be important to anyone. Unless...
もしクリスの記憶の中にタイムマシン理論の基礎があることを何者かが知ったとしたら。
Someone out there would want it.
でもクリスがその理論に行き着いたのはあなたの言う別の世界線なんでしょ？
中鉢論文を知ってるか？
中鉢？それってロシアに亡命した？
そうだ。
例の論文には私も軽く目を通したけど、とても論文と言えるものではなかったわ。
あれは劣化コピーだと俺は考えている。オリジナルが別に存在するんだ。
一体何の話？
ドクター中鉢の本名は牧瀬正一。クリスの実の父だ。
I thought back to what I saw that day.
私も考えてみたの。タイムマシンは作れるのかどうか。読んで。パパの意見を聞かせてほしい。
悪くない内容だ。
本当？この論文はパパと共同署名でもいいと私は思って。
学会には出すな。これは私が預かっておく。
そういえば クリスが日本に行く前に言ってたの、父親に会うって。新しい理論の発表会をするらしくて、その招待状が来たって。
That day, Nakabachi had stolen Kurisu's paper. And after he'd gone to Russia, he'd published his own paper. I hadn't seen it myself. Whenever I thought about it, I always thought about what I'd seen that day, and what happened right after, so I'd been avoiding it. But I heard the professors at school talking about it. It was so terrible that it had become something of a running gag. But if it was just a bad copy of an original, if what had been published was just Nakabachi's own reinterpretation of Kurisu's theory, and her original still existed somewhere else. That's right. Kurisu had written the original theory, so it had to be better than that. She'd actually succeeded in making the time leap machine.
それじゃあ、その論文の存在を知った誰かがクリスの記憶からタイムマシンに関する理論を取り出そうとしてるってこと？第三次世界大戦が起きたきっかけは EU とロシアによるタイムマシン競争の過熱なんだ。そこにアメリカまで横槍を入れて収拾がつかなくなった。まさに時代は歴史通りに動き出している。
Those people had attacked the lab in the last world line. Tanoji had said they weren't Japanese, but they were military. Some military wanted Kurisu's time machine theory. Oh, who texted me? Is it Mayuri again? Lukiko. I'm worried about Kagari. Leaving us. We'll do what we can. Don't worry, he'll be fine. We'll do what we can? It bothers me I can't do anything. It's not much different for me. Don't say that. You're much stronger than me. I'm not that great. You always think I'm a lot better than I really am. But thank you. I'll do the best I can to live up to the person you think I am. Thank you. You really are strong. Man, that text conversation was just depressing. That would explain why they chose to download her memories into Kagari's mind. Amadeus would never talk about something that it didn't want to talk about. But what about a human? There were true serums and torture methods. A human could be forced to talk, maybe. Maybe they'd done that to Kagari. Of course, this was just a guess. But if it was a military that had tried to kidnap Kagari, it was quite possible.
記憶のデータを脳に移植するか。
可能なんだろう、今の技術でも。クリスはそれを成し遂げた。それはクリスが研究していたことの応用だと言っていた。
ええ、そうね。可能よ。それにもともとアマデウスはそのために作られたものなんだし。
Medical applications, wasn't it? Leskinen had talked about it at the seminar, and Maho had interpreted. In this world line, Amadeus had been shut down, and the seminar had never happened, though. Maho gave me the same explanation I'd heard before. I was right, and memory data transplants were theoretically possible.
クリスの考え出したタイムリープマシンだってその応用だわ。
もっとも、そのどちらも自分の頭の中に自分の記憶を移植するという目的で作られたものだがな。
And Kurisu had said even that was dangerous.
じゃあ、他人の脳に別人の記憶を移植するとどうなる？単純に OS の違う PC のハードディスクに別のデータをコピーというわけにはいかないと思う。
What is an OS? Operating system? Yes, it's an operating system. the basic software of a computer that controls the entire system and allows other programs to operate in parallel. That is an OS.
そもそも人間の脳のキャパシティがどれくらいあるのかすら分かっていないの。容量的なことだけを言えば、20歳の女性2人分の記憶くらいは余裕で保存できるというデータはあるけど。
Daru had once told me that the brain storage capacity was 3.24 terabytes.
だけど、問題はそれ以外の部分。岡部さんの言う通り、自分自身の頭に記憶をダウンロードすることすらまだ実用段階には至っていない。それなのに他人の記憶をとなると、いつ齟齬を起こしてもおかしくないわ。そして実際に今そのエラーは起きつつある。このまま放っておくとカガリはどうなる？ひょっとしてマキセ・クリスになってしまうのか。
Oh!
記憶と人格は別物よ。脳の中で記憶を扱うのは海馬と大脳皮質。一方で人格は前頭前野の働きによって形成されている。それらの働きはお互い密接につながっている部分も大きいわ。
Different parts of the brain had different functions, but they weren't completely independent. Memories probably played a large role in forming your personality.
2つの記憶が混在することで脳に対する負担もかなり大きくなってるはず。このまま放っておいた場合、最悪カガリさんの人格は崩壊よ。
Suzuha slammed her fist into her knees in frustration.
それを防ぐ手立てはあると思うか？
カガリさんの頭の中からクリスの記憶を取り除くしかないでしょうね。
できそうか？
脳のデータが解析できれば、あるいはでもできるようになるとしても何年先か。
Suzuha's fists were clenched so tightly I could almost hear the sound. I could tell she was blaming herself for letting Kagari run away.
一つ手があるとするなら、もう一度過去のカガリさんの記憶を上書きすることかしら。
もう一度記憶を？
そもそもカガリさんの記憶を操作した人間はカガリさんの記憶を残すつもりはなかったと思うの。
She might have been right. Putting two sets of memories in one mind was just asking for problems. Which means that the experiments they'd done on her had resulted in a different outcome than they intended. In a sense, they had failed.
だったらもう一度カガリさんの記憶をきちんとした装置で脳に上書きしてあげれば、あるいは元通りにできるかもしれない。
しかしそのためにはカガリの記憶データがないと。
バックアップが取ってあることを期待するしかないわね。装置はどうする？簡単に見つかればいいけど。ないなら作ればいいわ。
そんな簡単に。
でもクリスは作れたんでしょ？
え？
Oh, right. It had to work similarly to the time leap machine.
だったら私にも作れる。作ってみせる。
I might be able to help with that.
問題は記憶データがどこにあるかね。こればっかりは何とかして突き止めるしか方法がないわ。
But there simply wasn't enough information. All we knew was that it was a non-Japanese Western military. And that information wasn't solid either. If anyone held the key, it was the woman in the motorcycle suit. I thought of a name and quickly brushed it from my mind.
何かいい方法でも思いついた？
いや、なんでもない。
It wasn't Yuki Amane. It couldn't be. We talk late into the night, trying to come up with a way to find out who had done the experiments on Kagari. But even though we spent a lot of time on it, none of us had any good ideas. Maho looks a little bit pleased. Alright.
信じられない。
Is she actually getting excited? I think she's excited. Also, I see an advertisement for Corpse Party. I see an advertisement for Corpse Party Blood Covered. I love that. I really love that. Oh my god. Okay, as soon as I saw Naomi, I instantly knew that was a Corpse Party advertisement. And like, there's a Chaos Child advertisement as well. Is there anything else I recognize? Oh, I see Steins Gate. I see a poster for Steins Gate behind some guy on the train. There's a poster for Steins Gate. Oh my god. Anyways.
でも本当なのよね。
On the train back, Maho Yajo was having trouble controlling her excitement. She is happy about this! Two girls who said they came from the future, and Mintaro Okabe's story about the time leap machine. Normally, she never believed them. But if Kurisu Makuse's mind had made these things possible, she could accept them. Kurisu was a genius. She just might be capable of it. To Maho, Kurisu seemed capable of anything. And most of all, she'd seen it for herself. On the way back from the lab, Susaha had taken her to the top of the radio building and showed her a real time machine. It was night, and she didn't have a lot of time to look at it closely, but she could tell at a glance that it wasn't made with modern technology. Honestly, she wanted to start on... Let me repeat what I was going to say. Honestly, she wanted to start work on making another one tomorrow. No, right now even. But she had something to do first. The time leap machine that Kurisu had made. She needed to make an improved version. That meant she was going to be practically living at Okabe's lab for a while. So she decided to get what she needed from the office in Wako City. From outside the building, she could see that the lights were still on despite the late hour.
Maho!
Oh? As soon as she got inside, Dr. Luskinen rushed over, his face pale.
何これ。
It was trashed. The place was trashed. The room had clearly been ransacked. Of course, the place barely had anything in it to begin with, so with a quick glance, it was hard to see what had changed. But Maho and Dr. Luskinen's desk had clearly been searched. The drawers had been locked, but the locks had been broken and their contents spilled out. Dr. Reyes hadn't brought much of anything, fortunately, and so she escaped with very little damage, but her drawers had been dumped out too.
これは何があったんですか。
何者かが侵入したらしいんだ。
泥棒ってことですか。
私が来た時にはこの状態だったの。もしかしたら企業スパイの類かもしれないわね。
Ooh, that's bad.
こんな何もないところで。
Wouldn't it make more sense to hit the Riken Institute next door? Only a few people even know this office existed to begin with. Suddenly, Okabe's words began to take on new meaning for her. Could this have had something to do with what he said? Was a secret war over the time machine already beginning?
とにかくマホ、君も何か盗まれていないか調べたまえ。
はい。
The laptop! The laptop's going to be missing! Isn't it? The laptop!
どうだい、何か取られていたものはあったかい？
いえ、私の方は何も。
Oh. I thought the laptop was going to be gone, but she might not have had it in her desk. She checked the desk and the drawers and couldn't find a single thing missing.
教授たちは？
こちらも何も盗まれてはいないようだわ。
Luskinen?
PC の中も確かめてみたが、第三者にアクセスされた形跡は見られない。本当に何も取られてないかい？
はい。
そういえばマホ、君のノート PC はどうした？もしかして盗まれたんじゃないか？
ああ、あれならホテルに置いてあるから大丈夫です。
そうか、ならいいんだが。
どうする？警察に連絡する？
何も取られていないなら、ことを荒立てる必要はないのかもしれないな。
Someone still broke into your office.
そうね。少し様子を見ましょうか。
Someone broke into your office! What the heck? Maho wasn't sure that was a good idea, but she could understand that going to the police would be a big hassle. Especially since they weren't Japanese to begin with. And more than anything, Dr. Luskinen probably didn't want to lose time that could be spent on research. The same was true of Maho, too.
教授、実はお願いがあるんです。
Oh. Is that your room, Maho? Wow, your room is a lot more messier than Kurisu's. Is this your hotel room? Jeez, that's kind of messy. Not to say anything mean about you, Maho, but yikes, that is messy. Dr. Luskinen agreed to give her a vacation much more readily than she expected. Maybe coming to the office over New Year's had paid off. Now she'd be able to focus on the time leap machine. Once she got back to her hotel room, she quickly got her things ready. She wasn't checking out of the hotel, but she needed clothes and other things so she could stay at the lab for a while.
よし。あとは。
Once she finished packing her bag, she grabbed another bag that was placed next to it. It was a laptop and portable hard drive that she'd gotten from Kurisu's mother after her death. She tried many times to crack the password, but never managed to succeed. She knew that she wouldn't have time to do anything with it, but she still didn't want to leave it here.
そうだわ。確か彼。
After she made one last check of her things and got ready to leave the room, an idea came to her. Not a bad idea, if I do say so myself. Maybe this is what Kurisu wanted. She quickly shook her head and chased the idea from her mind. Kurisu would get mad at her. Life and death were like a binary 0 and 1. You could be one or the other. There is no will that existed after death. If it existed at all, it existed inside the brain. Are we back to Okabe now? Yep, we're back to Okabe, and he still looks as depressed as ever. Several days passed, and I still had no idea who had planted the memories in Kagari's head. I went all the way out to talk to the priest who'd found her, and even questioned the locals in the surrounding area, but I had no luck. Suza seemed to be doing her own research. She hadn't been back to the lab since then. She was in touch with Daru at regular intervals, so I don't think she was in danger. I asked Noji and Mocha again, but neither of them seemed to have any luck. In this world line, the lab hadn't even been attacked, which meant they might be up to something else. Even if they were, I had no way of imagining what it was. But I was sure that someone had kidnapped a young Kagari, Shina, and experimented on her, and only recently had she escaped. They had to be planning something, and I was sure it was bad. We didn't have the time to wait for them to act. But without any clues, there was nothing we could do. My mind kept going in circles, and I kept getting more frustrated and nervous with every second. Minute, not second.
すみません、真帆先輩。私のために。
Even though, okay, babe probably means, seconds, not minutes. Let's be honest here, he probably means seconds, not minutes.
あと少しでできそうだから。それに、これは私のためでもあるんだし。
Maho staggered out of the development room, sank into the sofa, and smiled sleepily. There were dark spots under her eyes. For the last few days, she'd been working on the device without any sleep. Her work needed to pay off soon, as fast as possible.
それにしても、携帯電話を使うだなんて普通考えないわ。たとえ考えついたとしても、実行に移そうなんて思わない。
携帯は離すときにどうしても受話器をこめかみ付近に近づける必要があるからな。
こめかみ周辺には大脳前頭葉と大脳側頭葉がありますからね。側頭葉の海馬妨害が記憶を貯蓄する場所だと考えると妥当な判断かと。
Pyrohippocampal gyrus. Parahippocampal gyrus. Jeez, that's a big ass word.
問題はどうやって記憶を圧縮させるかよね。
そ
れについては僕が毎日徹夜で頑張ってるわけだが。
すまないな、ダル。
しかもハッキングがここからだって絶対にバレないようになんて言うから大変だっつーの。他のバイトだってあるのにさ。
To compress the memories, we needed CERN's LHC no matter what. What is LHC? Large Hadron Collider. Collider? I thought it was Collider. Or is it Collidor? 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 An abbreviation of the Large Hadron Collider, which is an experimental device used to cause charged particles to collide and study the results. Built by CERN and located 100 meters below the ground in Geneva, Switzerland. It is the world's largest ring-shaped particle accelerator. Its total length is 27 kilometers. Many different teams, including one from Japan, use the device to perform experiments. The reason it's a ring is that when charged, particles pass through an electromagnetic field. The Lorentz force causes them to bend. And that is the Large Hadron Collider. That one took a lot of thought. If we made an enemy out of CERN, that tragedy I'd gone through before would repeat. But the main reason that CERN had attacked us was the D-mails we'd sent to the past. If it weren't for that, they probably would have bothered. And since we weren't sending D-mails, CERN would probably never even detect us, probably. Fortunately, Suza had the IBN 5100 that we needed for the hack. Things were coming together better than I expected.
にしてもさ、オカリン、彼女、ほんと別人みたいなんですけど。
ああ。
I nodded at Daru. For the past few days, more Kurisu's memories had been invading Kagari's mind. Lately, she even started discussing complex technical subjects with Maho. She was acting just like Kurisu used to when she lived in America. At first, Maho seemed put off, but she eventually adapted. Maho probably wanted to get details about the device from Kurisu, so it seemed to be helping.
それにしても、こんなラボで本当にタイムリープマシンを作ってたなんて、実際にタイムマシンを目にした今でも信じられないわ。
Oh no, Maho's accidentally blending Kagari with Kurisu. She's blending the two people together.
でも人間の記憶を丸ごとデータ化して過去に飛ばすなんて発想はすごいですよね。さすがは真帆先輩。 その言葉、そっくりそのままあなたに返してあげるわ。
はい？
あなたは天才で、所詮私はサリエリだったってことよ。
Maho, that's Kagari, not Kurisu! Watching the two of them, it was easy to fool myself into thinking that it was Maho and Kurisu talking.
なあ、かがり。
そうだ、アマデウスで思い出しましたけど、プロジェクトはどうなってるんですか？
残念ながら、凍結されたわ。
かがり。
凍結？どうして？もしかしてレスキネン教授が決めたんですか？
私にもわからないわ。教授はもっと上からの指示だって言ってたけど。
そんな、せっかく順調に言ってたのに。
なあ、クリス。
はい？
She's not answering to Kagari anymore, she's only answering to Kurisu.
あれ？私、今。
君はかがり。椎名かがりだよな。
椎名かがり。そう、私は椎名かがり。私は。
Kagari suddenly put her hands up to her head, afraid.
でも、それじゃあ、これは、この頭の中にある記憶は何？
それはマキセ・クリスの記憶だ。君の記憶じゃない。
そんなこと言われてもわかんないよ。
Kagari was acting completely different now than she was just a moment ago with Maho. She raised her voice like a child throwing a tantrum.
だって、私にとっては、私の記憶でしかないんだもん。マユリンママたちとの記憶も、子供の頃のパパとの記憶も、アメリカの大学での出来事も、全部私の中にあるんだもん。どれが本当で、どれが嘘かなんて、私、わかんないよ。
Her words turned into sobs. I could understand how she felt. From her perspective, it was all real. None of it was fake. It was easy to tell her to get a hold of herself. But it wasn't that easy for her to actually do it. I remembered what Kurisu had said when she finished the time loop machine. She said you can never put your memories inside someone else's mind. It would destroy their personality. But if we were to leave Kagari like this, what would happen? There was a chance that her own memories would disappear and only Kurisu's would remain. If that happened, who would the person in front of me become? Would they be Kagari? Or would they be Kurisu? If it was Kurisu... That wasn't true. It was impossible. I couldn't even think about it. But the more I thought, the more I felt a horrible idea tugging at my mind, no matter how much I tried to ignore it.
私、どうしたらいいの？助けて。ママ、パパ。
It would have been great if Mary was around. But unfortunately, both she and Luko had gone to school. Both of them were worried about Kagari, and had told me to contact them if anything came up. But that didn't mean I could rely on them all the time.
かがりたん、ちょっと気分転換に散歩でもしてきたらどう？
そうね。人間じっとしてると余計なこと考えちゃうものよ。少しくらい体を動かした方がいいかもしれないわね。
というわけでオカリン、かがりたんを頼んだ。
わかった。
The two of us walked out to Central Street together, but we didn't really have anything to do. you want to have some yams? The air outside must have made her feel a little better, because Kagari was starting to calm down.
どこか行きたいところあるかな？
どこでもいいの？
ああ、君の行きたいところでいい。
それじゃあ、クリスさんと行ったところに連れてってほしい。
Oh.
え？
オカリンさんがクリスさんと歩いたことのある場所に連れて行って。
Somewhere I'd been with Kurisu. Where could that be? The coin laundry in the neighborhood? Horan Park? Gyodan Sambo? I hadn't spent a lot of time with her at fun or romantic places. I'd spent a lot of time with her, but most of it had disappeared into many different world lines. I'd gone through that time again and again, but most of it had been spent arguing and working with her at the lab. We never spent any time going to places to have fun. I'm gonna repeat that. We never spent any time going places to have fun. And we never made it to Aomori yet either.
オカリンさんがクリスさんと初めて会ったのはどこ？
初めて会った場所。
私、そこに行きたい。
The place where Kurisu and I had met. It was... Oh, shit. Oh, shit. I'm gonna end this video off right in front of Radio Kaikan. Oh my god. Okay, I'm leaving it off here. Oh my god. Okay. Okay. Oh boy! The next episode. Oh god, this storyline is actually, very interesting. The storyline is actually super interesting. Honestly, I don't even know how this is gonna end up. I honestly don't know how this is gonna end up. And, this is definitely different from the Steins Gate Zero anime. I can tell you all this now. Because there was nothing about Kagari and Kurisu's memories blending together. There's nothing about that in the anime. So, for this storyline to be shared in, this game, 10 out of 10.
Okay.